For the last 3 seasons, September baseball for the A's has been an exciting run to the pennant chase. In 2015, with the playoffs out of reach, the Athletics look to be spoilers, and young players have an opportunity to showcase their skills for next season. Last night, 2 players did just that. Danny Valencia continues to show the green and gold that he can play with clutch hits and a 3 RBI night. Rookie Mark Canha's 3-run blast blew open the game as he looks to power his way to a full-time job in 2016. Who will shine tonight? A's Angels next. Beautiful night for baseball at the Coliseum as we get set for Game 2 of this 3-game series. And that is Matt Shoemaker, who's going to start tonight for the Angels. And he will be opposed by a young man by the name of Cody Martin. He's going to pitch for the Athletics. So a big win last night for the A's. And tonight they're looking for their 4th consecutive win. A's Angels coming up on CSN, California. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Cody Martin making his first big league start. Ray pitched in relief for the Braves earlier this year, but traded to the A's, and we'll get our first look at him tonight. Should be a lot of fun because he's going to have a lot of family and friends in town at the game tonight, about 50 to be exact. And look what happened. He came from the Atlanta Braves, did pitch in the bullpen for the Braves, but as a starter for the Nashville Ball Club, that's what he did. He'll be making his Oakland A's starting debut tonight. And he talk about maybe topping out at 89, 90 miles per hour. He'd be throw 100 tonight. You get that pumped up with so many friends and family in the stands making your first start. We'll see how he does, but we wish him well. And maybe Eric Ibar, we should call him Babe Ibar. He is so tough on the A's. We saw it last night. 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and his whole career, he's gotten a lot of big hits against the Athletics. You know, you look at him, he has a lot of fun playing the game of baseball, and I think that's so important for a lot of players, but you watch him, he does a great job. Remember, Andrew Bailey gave up the long ball to him there, hit it to the left side. He's a switch hitter, plays a great shortstop. There he is hitting Sean Doolittle from the right side. He can do it all. Have a little fun at second base, indeed, but he's just a very good hitter. Every time he comes up with runners on base, it seems that he knows how to get them in. Last night, he started an inning by bunting, leading off, so he can do it all defensively and offensively, and really the type of player you don't want to face in a tough situation. So the A's have won 3 in a row. The Angels have lost 4 in a row, and we'll see what gives tonight here at the Coliseum in Game 2 of this series. When we come back, we'll have lineups and first pitch. It's the A's and the Angels coming up on CSN California.
to you by Jack in the Box. Get the new Steak and Egg Breakfast Burrito at Jack in the Box. It's not your basic breakfast burrito. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Black Bear Diner. Feed your inner bear.
So that's your starting pitcher tonight, Cody Martin. His first major league start, and he's going to get it with the Athletics. So the A's take the field. We're in the green tops tonight. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. It's 67 degrees, and it's a breezy night here at the Coliseum for Game 2 of this three-game series, with a day game to follow tomorrow, and then an off day for the A's on Thursday. Angels are getting set. Let's check out their starting lineup. It starts with Cole Calhoun in right, then Mike Trout in center. Albert Pujols will DH tonight. David Murphy gets a start in left field. C.J. Cron will play first base. And then it's Eric Ibar in short. David Freese back off the disabled list. He'll play third. Carlos Perez is your catcher, and Taylor Featherston is the second baseman.
Cody Martin, his Oakland A's debut, his first major league start, and for the young man who basically throws a fastball, he's brought back the cut fastball, good curveball, and changeup. And I say brought it back because he was pitching out of the bullpen, and out of the pen you really only have a couple of pitches that you can use, but back in the rotation as he was with Nashville, he's now throwing the cutter, which he's adding to the fastball. Curveball is a pretty good pitch for him as well. So a lot of folks from Dos Palos, California, down in the Central Valley, have come up to watch him pitch tonight. I'm sure they're all in the family section cheering for him, and we wish him well ourselves.
Defensively for the A's tonight, looks like this. Smolinski in left. Pridey, Jason Pridey, one of the call-ups from the minor leagues, as today is indeed September 1st. And then Reddick in right, Brett Laurie, Marcus Semien, Eric Sogard, Mark Canha on the infield. Stephen Vogt is your catcher. There's Jason Pridey. Had a very, very good season in AAA Nashville. Billy Burns, the wrist bothering him just a little bit, so he's going to get tonight off. Maybe tomorrow too, who knows, with Thursday being an off day.
That's a good point. And right now the A's, with the September call-ups, they do have other ones to put out there.
First pitch is hit in the air toward Pridey, fairly deep left center field. He's under it, and one pitch, one out here.
Was that Billy Burns?
I almost said it. So September call-ups, here's the list, folks. R.J. Alvarez, Arnold Leon, we've seen them before. Martin pitching tonight, then Otero. Ryan Dole, he'll be making his major league debut when he takes them out. Tyler Ledendorf was with the A's early this year. Carson Blair, he's a catcher, and we just talked about Jason Pridey. So that's the list, 8 of them, Ray.
Yes, and makes for a crowded clubhouse. Steve Lucinich, and crowded dugout, as a matter of fact, and even a crowded bullpen. So a lot of crowded areas around baseball, all teams, with the September call-ups. And just as a reminder, there's a 40-man roster, and a team can actually increase the roster to 40. Most do not, but there are some who will bring up enough. Let's say a team might be winning and able to give a few guys some time off and rest a little bit if they go down the street. Royals probably would do that, considering they're, I wouldn't say a lock until they clinch it, but pretty good chance they're going to win the division easily.
2-0 to Mike Trout. Trout hits it just off the glove of Canha and into right field for a base hit. Canha was playing well off the line. The ball was not really hit that hard, but just got past Canha for a single.
It's a cut fastball, and that's what a cutter will do. Watch it right off the end of the bat of Mike Trout, and Mark Canha just going to his left. See how the spin, and then hits the ground, spins even more, and actually spun back towards the heel of the glove instead of into the glove. And that's what happened once the spin of the baseball and it hit the ground. That looked like a slider.
It did.
Yeah, going back to Cole Calhoun's swing of the first pitch, not surprising. You know, this young man's making his Oakland debut, his first major league start. Figured he wants to get ahead with a fastball, and Calhoun jumped on the first pitch, and fortunately it was an out.
Pujols takes a pitch a little outside.
Into the bat, he's thinking 2-0 fastball, and just enough of a cut. That's off the end. That's what created all the spin going to first base, and he'll take it.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort.
So his smile was an expo too.
That's right. That's a good smile.
I mean, that's a smile of, it's a great game, but you got to have fun.
So, you know, when you walk from the parking lot where we park and you go through the tunnel, and then as you get ready to get on the elevator, you walk past, which is the weightlifting room for the visiting team. So as I walked by there today, the door's open and Mike Trout was in there doing push-ups. And I had to stop. I was like, well, that's impressive right there.
Right.
Because it was not like, you know, half push-ups either.
Oh, no.
I was impressed.
And rightfully so. We talk about guys lifting weights a lot of times, and some do just that. Just did you get down and do 100 yourself?
I didn't want him to think I was weird, like staring at him, but.
Well, you could have just joined him. He said, come on in, do 100 yourself.
Well, I gave him like a thumbs up. I guess that may have been a little weird, but.
Meanwhile, some pretty good curveballs from this right-hander. Martin talked about his curveball being one of the better pitches, and he froze Pujols for the first one.
Kerwin Danley is calling balls and strikes. Chad Fairchild at first. Pat Hoberg at second. Jim Joyce. There he is. He's the crew chief. He's at third.
Nice stash. That's good.
Trimmed up, looking good. 1-2 to Pujols. That's the breakdown for Cody Martin. Remember, his appearances this year up until tonight have all been out of the bullpen. He made 21 relief appearances earlier this year for Atlanta.
I think before this night is over, you could look at that 10% curveball. I think it's probably going to be increasing. Watching the two that he threw and has thrown to Pujols in this at bat. First one taken by Pujols, and then the next one off the end of the bat.
So 1-2. Trout, decent lead. And that one is hit in the air. Sogard has it. He fires back to first, but not quite in time. Sounded like it may have been a broken bat.
Well, another one off the end of the bat, like Trout's, but this one in the air, caught by Sogard. And something that you will not see, but it's something that's very important. Stephen Vogt, the catcher, hustling down the line as this ball off the end of the bat. Caught easily by Sogard, but Stephen Vogt busting it down as Sogard was making the throw to first, but behind that was Stephen Vogt, and that's what you want to do as a catcher in the event there's an overthrow, not to allow the runner to take the extra base.
So 2 outs for David Murphy. Murphy coming over in the trade from the Indians on the 28th of July. Saw him for so many years with the Texas Rangers. Left the Rangers as a free agent, signed a 2-year deal with Cleveland, and this is the second year of that 2-year deal, so he'll be a free agent. Drives this one to left. Smolinski hustling back. Now he's under it. He's got it. Side retired. So a hit and a runner left. So good first inning for Cody Martin. Hayes come to bat in the bottom of the first. That's the Cal women's swim team enjoying the ball game. So they're going to have a good time. National champions, so they may still be celebrating that a little bit, and they should. Congratulations. A's lineup tonight looks a little bit different. Eric Sogard's going to lead off, and then Laurie, Reddick, Canna, Vogt, Butler, Smolinski, Pridey, and Simeon.
Matt Shoemaker on the mound for the Angels. The battle of the beards tonight between the A's and the Angels. The two pitchers featuring very large beards. Matt Shoemaker has been very good for the Angels. Fastball low 90s. He also throws a split finger fastball, but probably not as well as last year when he had a phenomenal season for the Angels, but still very good right-hander as they try to end their little bit of a problem. David Freese, realizing they played football, he just walked over to the 40-yard line and kind of kicked to try to check the grass in front of third base. Remember, he's been on the DL back.
So 1-0 to Sogard, hitting .243, 27 RBIs. Laurie to follow, and then Brett. Hit towards second. Nice big hop for Featherston. One away. Quick check of the Angels defense. It's Murphy in left, Trout in center, Calhoun in right. There's Freese, Ibar, Featherston, and Crone on the infield. Carlos Perez, the rookie catcher. There's David Freese. The Angels are thrilled to have him back. Angels struggling mightily, and they need to make a run quickly. Angels are now under the 500 mark. They're 65 and 66. They are 3.5 games behind the second wild card team, which is the Rangers. 7.5 back in the division. So after a really poor month of August, they are set to get rolling in September, but they were 10 and 19 in August, and the offense really struggled.
What do you think last night after having a 3-0 lead the first 2 innings, and especially playing aggressive style baseball under Mike Scioscia, which we've always seen that, had a double steal and looking well until the 3rd inning when Santiago could not throw a strike.
And that one hit high and deep to left field. And that baby's gone. Laurie homers, number 14, and the A's lead 1-0.
He had 4 in the month of August, none bigger than what he hit in Arizona against Hernandez. That ball was crushed, and this one the same thing. As soon as he hit it, started his little patented trot, knowing it was gone, and a much larger tunnel to go through now with all the call-ups. But Brett Laurie staying healthy and swinging the bat well.
So Reddick steps in. Home runs have been an issue for Shoemaker. That's the 22nd home run he has allowed this year, tied for 10th most in the American League, and he's done that in 124 innings.
5th start against the A's, and he's not pitched particularly well against them in any of the starts, and back-to-back starts in Anaheim and here in June, the last time the A's saw them.
Ray, you mentioned that season last year when Shoemaker went 16-4. Kind of came out of nowhere and really helped the Angels out big time on their way to winning 98 games, but not the same amount of success this year with just the 6-9 record. But he is coming off a terrific start. In fact, his last start, he beat the Tigers 2-0, and it was the best start of the year for him. But look at the difference. A 3.04 ERA last year, 16-4.
And that's the 5th home run he's given up to the A's this year, and this is his 5th start. Twice he gave up 2 in a game.
Reddick got a high fastball and fouls it back, 3-2.
Well, Brett Laurie, this is what he did on a pitch. I mean, he just dropped the head of the bat, and you could see the reaction of Shoemaker, and of course the reaction justified when Brett Laurie just started the trot. Well, it was crushed.
few toward third, and Freese will let it go. It hits the bag, and it's a base hit for Reddick. So Reddick will take it.
Not a great swing. Brett Lawrie went down to get it, and there's your Trout. He knew it was gone. Sounded great, and the distance was maybe not quite what was done in Arizona, but when he hits them, they're not cheapies.
So you watch that replay, Ray, and I know hitting coaches have talked about when a hitter hits a low pitch, he has to use his legs more. And you could see that with Lawrie. You can go down a little bit to get it with your legs. Just watch.
Yeah, he's got the package. He's complete, and you're right.
It's just a little more leg drive, I think, on a low pitch.
Yeah, the stiff front leg and then drop the back leg. And it just, whenever that happens, you're a low ball hitter. Mike Trout's the same way. And all they do is just drop the head of the bat and get under a pitch that you normally figure they're going to hit on the ground. I'm sure that's what Shoemaker was hoping for Lawrie, yet he got under the pitch.
Canna, shallow left. Murphy hustling in, and he's got it. 2 away here in the first inning. Lawrie with the home run to give the A's a 1-0 lead. Last night the A's trailed early, 3-0. So with 2 outs, Vogt will hit. Hitting in the 5th spot, 268. 18 home runs and 67 runs batted in. Did not play last night, but had a very good series in Arizona. He was 6 for 14 with 2 home runs in Arizona, so I think he liked that ballpark. He hit it. Most hitter too. Against the Angels this year is 13 for 41. That's a 317 average, a couple of home runs and 10 RBIs. So he's had a good year against the Angels. One is outside from Shoemaker.
Thinking Stephen Vogt has done this season was like this. How about this 0-2 split, a couple of runners on base, and it split into the seats. A 3-run shot, and at that time it gave the A's a 4-2 lead. So they were trailing, but all season every home run Stephen has hit to either tie the game or put them ahead. It seems like all the time he comes up with big hits, and that one beginning of the season, his 5th.
He's won that game 6-3 early in the season. So he started against the A's on the 20th, and then he started against the A's on the 29th of April, back-to-back, as you mentioned earlier. And a loss and a no decision. Say Shoemaker, and we've seen him enough now, Ray. He really has to have good control.
But that, as you mentioned about last year, the numbers. Remember Garrett Richards, when he went down, Shoemaker really saved him. He actually saved him out of spring training too, and you won 16 games, like you said, to help them in the rotation. And I'm sure they were expecting the same thing, getting Richards back this year, having Shoemaker. C.J. Wilson, unfortunately for the Angels and for C.J., out for the season, the rest of the season, with an injury. So things have happened, and that's why the A's are blessed to have a lot of pitching.
Vogt pops it up. Shallow left center. Trout's got it, and the side is retired. But Brett Lawrie with a home run, and it was his 14th of the year, and it gives the A's a 1-0 lead after 1. The Coliseum. It'll be C.J. Cron, Eric Ibar, David Freese, Cody Martin. Gave up a 1-out single to Trout in the first, and that was it. On the ground to the shortstop, Simeon. One away, and that gets us to our forward right choice. It was Felix Dubron from last night. He got his first win as an Athletic and his second win total on the year. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 106 pitches.
Just think when he gets the point, he's not walking as many batters. How great he's going to be. There's a couple last night. But he's done a very good job for the Athletics, and he knows he's walking probably a few more than he'd like to. But he has been very good, fine for the Athletics, and especially when the A's saw him pitch for the Blue Jays and pitch for Boston. And you know, saying about a lefty, he's good. Always give him a chance.
1-0 pitch to Ibar, right on the outside corner, 1-1.
We have talked to pitchers who are making their debuts, and there's Cody Martin coming from the Braves to Nashville, and of course this is his first start. What do you try to do? Follow your catcher.
Yep.
Stephen Vogt has been here. He knows the league. He knows the team. And that's good. When he puts the hood up from Mujica, he'll have some sunflower seeds to munch on.
Something to keep an eye on tonight. 2-2 to Ibar.
You know, that shot right there proves that the bullpen is too crowded because Mujica's a reliever and he's on the bench. So, that's saying a lot. You know, get him back down there where he belongs.
Ibar waits, and it's a curveball down and in. So full count. He's not going to give up till he gets caught.
Well, he's already caught because we've caught him a couple of times. But as far as Dubron has not. I guess if that hoodie gets real heavy, it's a lot of sunflower seed. That may be three big bags.
Something's not right. Ibar, slap swing toward left. Smolinski's right there, 2 outs. Another good at bat by Ibar, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, before we showed Mujica disposing of his sunflower seeds, I had mentioned about Stephen Vogt. A lot of times you want to see pitcher catcher on kind of the same page, but I think Chris Bassett said it best to us when he said, I had nothing. I just relied 100% on Stephen Vogt. And so really from a pitcher standpoint, you can think about what you want to do, but if you defer to the catcher who knows the hitters and he knows how to set up a game, takes all that pressure off you as a pitcher and just get a sign, throw the ball.
Curve for strike to David Freese.
Got a lot of great pitchers who have just simply said, catcher, tell me what to throw, where to throw it, and I'll just do that. And a few of those guys in the Hall of Fame.
Big hop for Laurie. And that one almost thrown away, but Canna takes care of it, and it's a 9-pitch inning for Cody Martin. Bottom of the second coming up. A's 1, Angels nothing. just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. The Cal Band in the house on Cal Night. So it's the bottom of the second inning. Butler to lead it off, followed by Smolinski and Pridey. Butler 238, 9 homers, 48 RBIs. First pitch on the inside corner for a strike. A's have won 3 in a row. They're 58 and 74 on the year. That one bounced right over the mound, right near the bag. Takes a big hop for Featherston, and he throws out Butler. So that's out number 1. Of course, if it's Cal night, that means the manager Bob Melvin has to be out there. Mark Cannis from Cal, Bomels from Cal, Marcus Simeon's from Cal. So a nice night for those gentlemen.
And congratulations to Cal, and they brought their own band. Should have done the anthem if they're going to come out for the band. Maybe they'll do the 7th inning. Oh my!
Smolinski down the left field line. Jim Joyce says foul.
I think Smolinski's looking at it and saying, how could that be? I hit it so hard. How could it hook? And Bob Melvin is going to go out to talk to Jim Joyce.
What do you think, Jim? It is Cal night.
And really, the ball is hit so hard. Did it go in front of the foul pole? That's the question. Check it out.
Boy, that's close.
Oh, that's.
Oh, we're going to take a look.
Well, and this could be an umpire's. I don't know if it's necessarily a challenge. Of course, home runs, they always want to check anyway. I think that, I don't know if that is construed, but maybe that's why he went to Jim Joyce to ask him.
Well, it's usually, I mean, did the ball go, can you see it?
Yeah, maybe he's thinking it got to nudge the foul pole way up high.
That would be the only hope for the A's, is that maybe the ball hit the foul pole, but I don't know that it did.
Yeah, it's a crew chief review. They just announced it in-house, and that's why he went to Jim Joyce.
So Jim Joyce, and you know what? Listen, he's the crew chief. He says, you know what?
Yeah.
We're talking about a possible home run here.
Sure.
We should check it just to make sure. I think that's the right thing to do.
That's Jim Joyce. That's why he's such a very good umpire. And he's running back to his position at third base. He's saying, why didn't they have this a couple of years ago?
Confirmed.
Yeah. And you can see the look on Smolinski. Smolinski, I mean, he crushed it and really couldn't tell. But that was the correct call, just in front of the foul pole.
Featherston hustles over and catches it in the air behind second base.
Just check the baseball as it.
It was close.
Yeah, all they do is touch any part of the foul pole, and they could graze it and not really change direction that much, but clearly missed it to the left, and the veteran Jim Joyce was correct. Tough call for an umpire. I mean, you turn around and you know what you're looking for, and you don't start running, just turn and look on a possible home run or a ball on the chalk.
Well, if the ball hit the pole, it would probably have a gold streak on it, but the ball would be in the stands, and I don't think anybody would.
Or you expect it
the umpires.
Yeah, you expect it to change direction, but it just did not. It stayed right there, true to form, and unless it hit one of those puffed up seams.
So here's Pridey, Jason Pridey. Good numbers at AAA Nashville. In fact, very good numbers. 310, 20 homers, and 89 RBIs. Phoenix, Arizona.
But he was also in spring training, had a great spring, and that's probably one of the reasons that showing up tonight and in the lineup does give Bob Melvin a chance to give Billy Burns a night off.
24 doubles, 7 triples, and the 20 home runs in AAA. I think Pridey, who draws the walk, he's probably going to be called up anyways because he really did have a nice year. But we talked about the wrist situation with Billy Burns and Sam Fuld dealing with some back spasms. Coco's been in and out of the lineup, so the A's a little short in the outfield anyways.
Batting in the ninth position, shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
So Marcus Semien will hit.
All the Cal people cheering for him, like they cheered for Canna.
Semien, 255, 11 home runs, 35 RBIs. Takes a fastball inside. A's are 7-7 against the Angels this year, and they are 26-27 against the West. This is the wrist injury for Burns, which has been bothering him a little bit.
Watch the left wrist. I mean, he just jammed the wrist or his hand in right there. And that's when it kind of pushed his hand back and affected his left wrist. With all that happening, still was able to keep his left hand on the bag so he didn't overslide. Did have a nice conversation tonight before the game with Ricky Henderson, the all-time greatest steal, stolen base leader, and Ricky is in the house again tonight. But I'm sure Ricky and definitely wanted to talk to Billy Burns, made a point of it tonight after watching him last night. And as we were talking, Ricky saying, "Ron, forget about the clock, forget about those times, read him, run, and let's go." But that will come in due time. Billy Burns just a nice guy. I mean, he's a very nice young man. And of course, that's not a bad person to have on the bench, not in a game, if you need somebody to pinch run.
Well, Pridey had 20 steals in AAA, so that's a possibility. Yeah. Digs in with his lead, not running. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1. He's got a home run from Laurie in the first for the only run in the game so far. Big gap in right center for Semien. And he lines it to left for a hit. 2-out rally for the A's.
So Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, been with Mike Socha a long time. Chris Black was there before. There's Mike Butcher riding, but he went out to talk to him, maybe because of this. How about this pitch? That is one that if a pitcher elevates a fastball like that, unless you're throwing 95, 98 miles per hour, you're not going to get away with it. And just trying to get him down in the zone. That is a great swing by Marcus Semien on a pitch that I'm sure Matt Shoemaker would like to have back. He got it back, but it's with runners at first and second.
So here's Sogard. Sogard grounded out to second, leading off the bottom of the first. He's hitting in the leadoff spot tonight. Good speed on the bases for the A's. Outfield shallow and shifted toward left center.
About Billy Burns with his speed as a possible pinch run. Up on Tyler Leydendorf. He was here and showed off his speed, running the bases, doing a great job.
I should think, Ray, if Tyler Leydendorf would not have gotten hurt, I could see him being in the big leagues all year.
Absolutely.
Because he was a valuable guy very early on when he made the big league club.
Next to Aaron Brooks and talking to Billy Burns, but you're right. I mean, when he was sent down, then unfortunately got injured, ankle injury, put him on the disabled list. That's his versatility.
That is a foul ball. Freese got over there and he kind of slid to try to field it. He was hoping to field it and then just put the glove in the bag. But it's ruled a foul ball after it caromed off Freese, so that's an interesting call.
I mean, that's very interesting. Boy, it just went foul.
Yep.
And it hit in his right hand, and it was, I mean, you talk about inches, maybe very few inches, and Jim Joyce on the foul ball, the home run, and then this one, it just barely in that last spin went foul and then hit the right hand of Freese, and that's what caromed all the way over to shortstop. Very surprisingly. But like Reddick, Sogard cued the ball off the end of the bat, and this one just happened to go foul. Reddick's hit the bag.
So the count now 1-2. Broken bat grounder. Featherston to first. Side retired. A strand of pair. So we are headed to the third. It'll be Perez, Featherston, and Calhoun. A's lead 1-0. By Sight for Sore Eyes, fashion for everyone. 1st of September. And the A's lead 1-0. A's finished the month of August 13-50. And they finished strong, winning 3 in a row, trying to carry it into the month of September. Carlos Perez got a breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Perez 216, 3 home runs. He and Chris Iannetta splitting catching duties.
Wonder how hard it is for Mike Scioscia to tell a catcher he's got a game off, either day game after night game or the night before. And Scioscia caught it all the time.
Yep.
I mean, he took some of the hardest hits at home plate of any catcher when his longtime Dodger catcher. And I don't know that he could have accepted the new home plate rule. Maybe he would have taken as many shots if they had the rule there.
He may have wished that the rule was in place, because he did take some shots.
It's Chris Iannetta, the veteran catcher, and more than likely in the lineup tomorrow. A few guys back off the disabled list. Freese, of course, we talked about, back at third base. Featherston was on the DL. He's back at second base tonight. Angels have to be hoping that September is much more kinder to them than the month of August, considering what they know they have to do, need to do in September.
Line drive right field in front of Reddick for a hit. So that is the second hit for the Angels.
Batting in the ninth position.
Yeah, I mean, the Angels, I think,
Taylor Featherston.
almost look at it two different ways, Ray. You look at the standings and you see where they are. And you see, well, 3.5 out of the wild card with 31 games left, whatever it is. But the other way to look at it is how are they playing? And they have not played well for a long time. I mean, they have struggled for almost a month and a half. So they keep waiting. Now that's updated. The Yankees won. So they are the #1 wild card. Rangers are second. And then the Twins just 1 game behind the Rangers. Rays 3, Angels 3.5. Bunted foul. So it's still a pretty tight wild card situation. It is stretching out a little bit.
When you look at those standings again, you can see the wild card, and you see the Indians, what, 3 games under 500, yet 4.5 behind in the wild card. So you play 500 baseball or even under 500, you have a chance to be in contention for one of the wild cards going down the stretch.
One pitch to Featherston, and he lines one right center field. That's a hit. And Perez round second. He's going to try for third, and Reddick throws it back into second. First and third, nobody out.
Back-to-back pitches inside, and then both hitters have been able to go to the opposite field. And maybe not as far inside as Martin wanted. Remember, this outfield, Clay Wood and his crew has done a great job. The outfield still very quick. Reddick cut the ball off nicely to get the double play in order, but Perez able to get to third. Both hitters, Martin was ahead of the count in the count to both hitters, but both have singled.
So here is Calhoun. 0 for 5 last night. Hit a fly ball to center field his first at bat tonight. Trout to follow, and after Trout, it's Pujols. Big swing by Calhoun. He never gets cheated. And that one, in the foul ball alley, and a fan reached over and made a nice catch. He hung in there.
Yes, he did.
And used 2 hands.
Without a glove. It's impressive.
So 1-1 to Calhoun. A little bit inside. 91 miles an hour from Cody Martin. Cody Martin's got a birthday coming up. He's going to be 26 years old on Friday. Gonzaga, Los Palos, California, as Ray said, out in the Central Valley. A couple hours from the Bay Area. Went up to Spokane for college. When he came over to the A's in that trade, the A's sent him to AAA and got him back to starting. Calhoun slowly hit right side of the diamond cannon, turns around, throws to first, and he's safe, and a run scores.
Missed the bag.
Martin, yeah, he was having trouble finding that bag. So Perez comes in to score to be a hit.
You almost like to have seen Canna go to the plate, because it really it's not going to be much of a play, and with the ball in front of him and Perez coming down the line, we'll see if Perez charging down, and I think the play Plate to plate might have been. He's not going to turn a double play. And see if you can see where he is. There's Perez there, and decided to go to first. And that's just a pitcher trying to get to the bag and reaching, could not, and did not get anything out of it.
So Calhoun gets his 68th RBI, and now we're tied. Still nobody out, and the big hitter's coming up. 1-0 to Trout, who had a base hit in the first inning. Featherston, Calhoun are your runners. Breaking ball that stayed high, and you don't want to hang that one in there.
Gonna say it didn't get the strike call, but you're fortunate it didn't swing. It might have left the yard quickly. That's a good pitch to hit.
347 Trout's average with runners in scoring position. And a good take there, and now it's 3-0. Trout with 36 home runs last year. That's a career high. This year, 33. Real pitch is a bit outside, and the bases are loaded. Nobody out for Albert Pujols. Here's our true story brought to you by McDonald's. The season for Albert Pujols. The totals are good. Career 554. Moving up that list, he's got 577 career doubles. 1,679 career RBIs. So, Pujols, Aaron, Bonds, Palmeiro, the guys with 550 home runs, 550 doubles, 1,600 RBIs. And he's going to play for a while yet.
Now batting.
He's got a contract that says he's going to play for a while. Pujols' contract runs through 2021. This is his 4th year with the Angels, and it was a 10-year contract he signed. So 6 more years after this year. He's 35 years old. And I think Pujols, I know one of those guys, he wants to play first base.
Yes, he does. Yep.
Now he's DHing tonight, but in general, I don't think the idea of being a regular DH interests him at all at this point.
Changes your whole game when all you're doing is hitting. One of the greatest hitting coach for the Mariners, and Edgar Martinez. He knew how to prepare to get 4 to 5 at bats a night. Scotty making a lot of people happy down in the bullpen, handing baseballs to young kids.
So 1-1 to Pujols with David Murphy, the left-handed hitter, in the on-deck circle. Ooh, and that hit. So that'll get a run home, an RBI the tough way for Pujols, his 77th of the year, and the Angels have taken the lead.
Well, they wanted to go inside. It just ran a little bit too much, and Mike Scioscia, of course, very quickly out to take a look at the star first baseman. Got him on the S on the Angels, but I wouldn't say a direct shot. Pretty close to it, though, and trying to back off, maybe a glancing blow.
David Murphy.
It wasn't a glancing blow.
I was going to say maybe a little bit more than a glancing blow. Sounded like it hurt.
Yeah, you see the uniform blouse that much, you think something's going on.
So Cody Martin, he has his hands full. Still nobody out, and the Angels have scored twice. So Arnold Leone starts to throw. Murphy bounces one to Canna. Canna's going to come home, then he decides not to and steps on the bag and gets the out there. Run comes in to score. That's Calhoun. 3-1 Angels.
Now batting, number 24.
Well, it looked like all he had to do is step on the bag and throw the plate and started. And maybe he's fortunate that he didn't throw, because he was not going to step on the bag first. Looked like he was going to, and then was to the right of it, started to throw, and then could not get a good enough grip on the baseball to throw at that point, when really you step on the bag first and maybe that momentum can push off and go to the plate, and all the while try to get a good grip.
And that one is just foul as Trout has to skip out of the way. So 0-1 to C.J. Cron, who grounded out to the shortstop in the second inning.
You think for Cody Martin tonight, he gave up a hit to Trout off the end of the bat. First 7 batters, he retired 6 of 7. The bottom part of the batting order, 8 and 9, started this inning. They got on base. Both have scored.
And there's a line drive toward Reddick. Reddick hustling over to his left. He's got it. He spins around. He'll throw it back toward third as Trout comes in to score. So Cron with a sacrifice fly, and it's a 4 spot for the Angels here in the third.
Now batting, number 2, Eric Ibar.
Pujols stayed at second. So here's Ibar. So 3 hits, a walk, a hit batter, sacrifice fly, and 4 runs for the Angels. Down and into Ibar. Angels on the year 12th in the American League in runs scored, 6th in home runs hit. They have the fewest hits in the American League. So they do hit some home runs, but they have not been a great offensive team this year, and lately it's been quite a struggle for them.
Well, in this inning, they have not needed the long ball, and hit batter to drive in a run, walk to load the bases, and a ground out and a sac fly. So they're doing the little things. But the bottom of the order, Perez and Featherston started it. See them both trying to guide his pitcher through this inning.
That guy likes it. Runs for Matt Shoemaker.
One of the few pitchers that wears his wedding band while he's pitching. That's right. See that silver wedding band shining?
Just foul. Alfredo Griffin, longtime first base coach.
Better play tonight, that young man. Griff, we know, as he could play, rookie of the year, and all-star in '87. So Griff let it go just intentionally. So a young man down in the bullpen could show that he could actually handle the play.
Curve is inside, so 3-2. Arnold Leone is loose and ready to go out of the bullpen. More action for Canna. And to Martin's side, retired, 4 runs for the Angels. So we go to bottom of the third now. It's the Angels 4 and the A's 1.
#1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and more at the MLB.com at bat right now. That's MLB.com at bat right now. They've got it.
No 1-1 to Laurie, who homered in the first. It was his 14th of the year. Inside, 1-1 the count. So Matt Shoemaker now works with a lead. We'll see what he does with that. He's allowed 3 hits so far. He has not struck anybody out.
The important thing of a pitcher, if you get a lead, to relax and throw strikes and get back to the dugout instead of trying to justify getting the lead, putting too much pressure on yourself. Laurie did this in the first inning on a 2-1. Watch him just drop the head down. I mean, really, as a pitcher, you look at that and say, that's not that bad of a pitch. Look where the location was, but what did it end up? Laurie, pretty good low ball hitter.
2-2, and it's roll foul. A shutdown inning opportunity for Matt Shoemaker. And again, Laurie going after that low pitch. Nice.
What's a fist pump?
Another foul ball. Laurie with a good battle. That one was up and he fouled it back.
Good thing about Brett Laurie, his strike zone really is all over. I mean, especially up and down.
Swing and a miss, chase to breaking ball, and that is the first strikeout for Matt Shoemaker.
And that's it, up and down. That's where he's vulnerable. The pitch that's breaking away from him, but you go head high or down to the toes, but this one breaking away, and you can almost see Shoemaker said, let's try it out there and see if he can chase, and he did.
So with 1 out, Reddick will hit. Reddick had a base hit in the first inning. It wasn't a line drive necessarily, but he'll take it. A roller down the third baseline that stayed fair. Ibar charges. Quick release, and they just get Reddick. Ibar makes that play as well as anybody. Charging, he's got a quick release.
He's played it long enough. He knows the hitters and the hitter's speed. And the way the ball was hit, able to charge. And you're right. Anytime you use your glove, catch the ball, transfer, you got to get out.
25 games in August for Mark Canha. Very good. 21 RBIs. Getting a chance to play every day now with Mike Davis out for the year. And so far, it's worked out. Fastball first strike to Canha.
Mark talked about the ups and downs and different things happening, but I think we could all agree that because he was able to handle the adversity, tough times, be able to fight back and go through an over as long as you don't extend it, and able to get back to respectability, and that's what he was able to do. Which means as a rookie player, first-year player, he'll have a great career if he continues along this path.
Canna waits the 0-2 from Shoemaker, and he just got a piece of it.
Well, last night, this is what he did, and didn't take long. First home run against the left-handed pitcher over the barbecue terrace. 11 home runs for Canna, 10 against right-handed pitching, and he got a lefty last night.
Sets up outside, and Shoemaker hit the target. Off the plate, 1-2. Canna last year at the AAA level played in 127 games. Shallow right center. Trout is there. 3 up, 3 down inning for Matt Shoemaker. So we're headed to the 4th inning, and the Angels have a 4-1 lead over the A's. A better California. So 4-1 Angels lead. It's the top of the 4th inning. And a nice night here at the Coliseum. Cooling off, a little breezy. Cody Martin making his first big league start as he faces Freese, Perez, and Featherston in the 4th. And there's a base hit right field. David Freese goes the other way, and he's got his first hit back from the disabled list for Freese.
You're thinking that Cody Martin getting a reprieve after getting out of the 3rd inning, giving up the 4, but then elevated this pitch, and Freese, like Perez and Featherston last inning, going to the opposite field. And if there's one thing that the Angels are doing very well tonight, Freese included, and that's hitting to the opposite field on pitches that are elevated, which enables them to do that.
Well, Leone gets back up. He was up last inning, and he was loose and ready to go. So 5 hits now for the Angels off Cody Martin. Right in on the grass, and the pitch is a strike. Big breaking ball, but Perez takes it to even the count at 1-1. Rangers and the Padres playing again tonight in San Diego. Texas leading 3-2 in the third. Gallardo and Cashner matchup there. Padres won last night 7-0. So the Rangers holding on to that second wild card spot. Rangers also 4 behind the Astros coming into today.
Tyson Ross, another former Athletic, on the mound for the Padres, pitched well last night.
So 1-1 the count. Wow, it's a good pitch. Should have been a strike. Call the ball.
Well, it is amazing how umpire strike zones differ. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that pitch. Right down the middle. Corbin Danley had to think it was low.
And now it's 3-1. So Martin going to have to come in, or it wouldn't surprise me, Ray, if his night's over.
Unfortunately, and I'm just thinking about with the September call-ups, increased roster, that does bring up usually extra relief pitchers and allows a manager, pitching coach to not have to wait as long as they might and want a pitcher to give more innings.
That's a good pitch. 3-2 now to Perez.
There's playing slightly to pull, but a huge hole on the right side, and that's where Perez hit it in his first at bat.
Runner goes, and the ball's lined to right. That's a hit. Freeze is going to try for third. Here comes Reddick's throw, and it's late, and it's first and third, nobody out. So with the runner going, Carlos Perez lined it to right, and that is going to do it for Cody Martin. So Arnold Leone is coming in. 3+ innings tonight for Cody Martin. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Season that celebrates Green Day's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. East Bay natives and longtime A's fans will be in attendance for a special pregame presentation, followed by a postgame fireworks show set to the music of this iconic rock band. Fans are invited to watch the show from the field, but please note space is limited. It'll be a fun night Saturday here at the Coliseum for the last fireworks show of the season and a special tribute to that band. That's be great. You're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That means you're good. Cleveland thinks so.
Cleveland's good.
Yeah. Arnold Leon hopes he's good.
It needs to be right now. First and second. Nobody out for Arnold Leon. Back and forth this year. In fact, according to the notes, Ray, this is his 6th stint with the A's this year.
Yes, it is. But his most important was in Anaheim early in the season when he came in and made an appearance out of the bullpens. You look at the numbers for Cody Martin. 56 pitches for the right-hander. Game kind of a blowout in A's favor, and Arnold Leon came in, pitched the 9th inning. Bob Melvin knew he was going to be sent back to AAA, but yet he wanted to get him in the game because he'd been up last year, did not. So Arnold came in and was ecstatic, getting everything signed. One of the 6 trips back to AAA.
See ya.
But that's what Bob Melvin is very good about players and knowing situations, and Arnold was very appreciative of that.
1-2 to Featherston. Calhoun to follow here in the 4th. The Angels trying to add on.
Arnold Leon a good assortment of pitches, and he has been a starter at the big league level out of the bullpen. So with that said, maybe some innings that A's can get out of him in this game if they want to.
One-two stays inside. Featherston almost looked like he was going to let it hit him.
You're exactly right. Curveball, they recognize the spin, figure it's not that hard. 2 strikes, might as well take one for the team.
Two is hit up the middle. What a play! Simeon flips to second on to first, double play. 3 scores, but it was a sensational play by Marcus Simeon. I didn't think he had a chance to get it.
And remember, before this season, he had very rarely dived for a ball, but there, without even transferring, gave it to Sogard out of the glove, and Sogard able to turn it. Great effort, and especially with his momentum going towards second base. And really what's interesting, Kai Berter in the season, Sogard gloved the ball to Simeon. He dropped it this time. A perfect flip of the ball in his glove to second base, and that is a great 6-4-3 double play. 2 guys up the middle, playing a little bit more regularly and getting very familiar with themselves as far as making the plays, but flip just out of the glove. Sogard handled it so well, so nicely, and able to complete the double play. I mentioned, I think it was in Houston when Sogard, remember, he flipped the ball out of his glove to Simeon.
Yep.
And he dropped the ball and didn't know what was going on. And a little bit later, a week or so later, the same thing happened. He fielded it, caught it, turned the double play.
Calhoun with a base hit.
I asked Ron Washington about the diving. He said Marcus had not done that much, and if that's the case, then what he just did there is spectacular. And he was playing halfway because they probably felt they could not double up Featherston, and so they were playing halfway, so he really did not and was not able to play as deep and have better range. So straight across, dive and flip it out of the glove, and that's why you use a smaller glove. You can catch the ball and just flip it in the same motion, which he did perfectly.
So Trout, the hitter.
Cut fastball, then that's a real time too, and that is great.
One and 0 to Trout. Trout with a single and a walk and a run scored so far. Two and 0. 3 hits in the inning for the Angels. Could have been more. Got a real big lead by Calhoun at first. And it's 3-0 to Trout. Calhoun has just 4 stolen bases on the year. Trout takes it, and it's in first strike. 3-1.
That was a strike. For some reason, 3-0, similar pitch, and Kerwin Danley has not been given the low strike or a strike down in the lower part. What would be considered the strike zone. On a 3-0 he did.
Calhoun not running, and the pitch is inside, and Trout walks for the second time. So the inning continues now with Pujols stepping up.
Now batting, number 5, Albert Pujols.
Pujols has popped out, and then he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, and that got him his 77th RBI. So Calhoun and Trout with lots of speed. Down and away when visit time for Arnold Leon. And now Kurt Young's going to come out. So Arnold Leon got that big double play. But since then, a single and a walk. So you were hoping to, after that double play, get back in the dugout, even though a run scored on the play. Has not been the case. So 1-0 the count. Leon trying to throw strikes. And he does there. Good pitch down around the knees. So Pujols kind of measured that one.
Been pretty consistent throughout his career. Look at the numbers with St. Louis and now with the Angels. I think you said it correctly. He measured it. When he measures someone,
well, a guy like that who's been so good for so long, you just think that he almost has to know what's coming or have a pretty good idea what's coming.
Exactly. Hurt in 2013 and bounced back last year, and this year even better after 30 in his first season.
Outside, and the count 2-2.
I like the note in the Angels. It said Pujols has passed Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Jimmy Fox, Willie McCovey, Frank Thomas.
This year?
Just this year in the all-time home run list this season. Ranks 26th all time. That's pretty impressive resume awesome. Right there. That I just passed the Mick. And then the splendid splinter, Ted Williams.
A good swing there. This is that hit by pitch in the 3rd. So Pujols may have a bruise,
but he wants to play. He wants to be in the lineup.
And again, foul back, right side. It's a good battle. Leon and Pujols with a couple of runners on. Semien charges. He'll go to second. Side retired. So a run for the Angels, but thanks to a nice play by Marcus Semien, it could have been worse. So it's now 5-1 Angels as we go to the bottom of the fourth.
Home series of the 2015 season when the A's play host to the Cross Bay rivals from September the 25th through the 27th. Come out and support the green and gold as the A's close out this year's home slate. Get your tickets now online at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 510-638-GO-A's. Giants and the A's here at the Coliseum, the final 3 home games of the regular season.
So Stephen Vogt leading it off. The A's trailing 5-1. Be Vogt, Butler, and Smolinski. Two 2-0. Close pitch, a little bit low. Vogt hit a fly ball to center field in the first inning. It ended the first inning. So got it. Like a pitch to hit on 2-0, fouled it back. High fastball, 2-2. These are just 3 hits through the first 3 innings. First one of them, the home run by Laurie. And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Shoemaker.
Pulled the string nicely on the off-speed pitch. Stephen Vogt geared up, and that is a great pitch because big effort from Shoemaker, but the pitch floated in, and Stephen way out in front.
So Butler steps in. Butler grounded out in the second inning. Well, a couple of his 9 home runs this year, a couple of them have been against the Angels. What you don't want to have happen here is Shoemaker settle into a groove. He's retired 5 in a row, and now he's got the 5-1 lead. In the hole, Ibar, he's got it. His throw across the diamond is in time. So Ibar was Well, I'm guessing here, but he may have been 10 to 12 feet out on the outfield grass when he finally set and threw it.
Well, the only hope that it was not a perfect throw. It was, and in time, as Billy Butler smelled the base hit. Once he got past Freeze, Ibar in the outfield, and there's your throw, there's the stretch. And Ibar, I guess, got a pretty strong arm.
Well, he didn't rush.
No.
Even though he was in the shallow left field. He took his time, set, and threw out Butler. 2 outs. Smolinski takes a strike, so now Shoemaker kind of rocking and firing, trying to get ahead of the hitters. Crone has it, and that's an easy inning. Nice play by Ibar, and that's 7 in a row retired by Matt Shoemaker. 5th inning coming up, 5-1 Angels.
Sox backpack presented by Chevron Techron Advantage credit card. There's the Sox, and there's your backpack. Monday, September the 7th, 15,000 fans will receive this stylish backpack modeled after the preferred footwear. Sunday and Soulgate. Get your Labor Day tickets now at athletics.com/tickets, or you can call 877-493-BALL. That will be a nice backpack to pick up next Monday, Labor Day, and then take it to school or take it to work if you're an adult.
I may do that.
Cal Pan down the left field
they're
line.
having a good time.
They're playing it.
Nice.
Really, they do not need any mid-inning entertainment. It is there.
Toward the left field corner, and it's fair. So Murphy going the other way, and he has a leadoff double. 3rd inning in a row, a leadoff hit for the Angels, and this one's a double.
Well, played very well for the Cleveland Indians and traded to the Angels. Look at the pitches up. And again, so often we talk about how a pitch is elevated. When it is, that's what can happen. So again, an A's pitcher in trouble. First 2 innings were great. Last 2 innings have not been that great for the A's pitchers.
Rowan takes a little bit high. And that Cal band, Ray, getting ready for Cal's opener, football opener on Saturday. Grambling State.
Wow.
Memorial Stadium in Berkeley.
They got a pretty good band too, don't they, Grambling?
Yes, they do. That's right. Famous.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll be coming along, but you can bet that the Cal band will put on a good show. They always do.
But I think you pointed out correctly in Phoenix, Chase Field, we had that football feeling as they had the bands out.
Right. They had a band out there. It sounded like a high school football game.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, college football starts this weekend. Crone, high and foul.
Do they have 2-a-day practices in Arizona? Outdoors?
Very good question. You wouldn't need it.
Especially not in full pads. I don't know that you'd want that for sure. It was warm, but it's very, very comfortable here back in the Bay Area. Still say this is so refreshing for teams when they come in here to feel this nice weather and after being in the heat.
Yeah, I mean, I think players, for the most part, enjoy coming to the Bay Area to play from a weather standpoint.
Absolutely.
And I think at the Giants Park, it may be a little bit colder than it is here.
But I don't know up and down the coast.
Simeon to third. Got it.
Play. What a play. Have a night, Marcus Simeon, defensively. That's great. Also got a base hit, and that's a smart play. Murphy running into the out, and Simeon playing back. Ball hit hard, or going right in front of him is Murphy. And Simeon did not hesitate, threw the ball to Laurie, who was covering the bag. And this is a high throw. He's got to throw around Murphy going to the bag. It goes into the slide, but had to get over him. And there's that pop-up slide with the old right foot. And check this out, okay, just like you talked about. Watch the right foot or the right leg up. Oops, there it is, and just off the bag enough. So the young kid Marte with the Mariners go straight in to third base. So Murphy, who led off with a double, but thrown out at third. Good play by Marcus.
So here's Ibar.
Well, this is not an easy play for a shortstop because he has to throw to the bag, and there's your runner coming in. But as Murphy went down, the throw was up high enough that Laurie was able to make the quick tag. And if you slide feet first and that front foot does not go straight into the bag, if it pops up, it's going to be off the bag, and usually it's going to be tagged. Marcus inspired by the cow band tonight, or the national champions before the game.
Off-speed pitch is high, so 2-0 to Ibar, who's 0 for 2. Slightly open stance for Ibar. Slaps it foul. Crone, the runner at first. One out here in the top of the 5th. Foul ball to even the count at 2-2. Leone about to throw pitch number 30 out of the bullpen. And it's low. So full count, and with one out, I don't know, Crone could possibly take off.
I think Mike Scioscia believes that his hitters in these counts will put the ball in play, and so would not be surprised to see any of the base runners take off. Shall see. Eddie Sarcina, third base coach now. Dino Ebel has moved as the bench coach for Scioscia.
There goes, and it's another foul ball. And a good play by a fan down in foul ball alley.
Hitters know their players and know their capabilities, but I think a lot of times in these situations, hitters should be kind of on call to do what they should do, especially if the runner is on the move, and that is to make contact. Of course, if the pitch is out of strike zone, you take it, but you don't want to swing so hard that you swing through a pitch and get him to strike him out, throw him out.
Runner goes again, and that one's fouled right at the plate. Rangers still leading the Padres 3-2 in the 5th inning.
That time, Ibar looking down at DeSarcina. Of course, in this case, he's probably been able to see the steal sign given to Cron, so he knows that it's going to be on the move.
Action now in the A's bullpen as Dan Otero just now getting up and starting to throw. Runner goes again, and the ball's bounced foul. Canna grabs it in front of Alfredo Griffin. So Ibar spoiling some decent pitches from Arnold Leon. So we'll do 3-2 again, see if Cron runs. He does. It's hit hard. Sogard and dug out all the way around. A nice play, and the side is retired. 4-6-3. The second double play turned by the A's tonight. Bottom of the 5th coming up. 5-1 Angels. More paints, the Painter's Paint Store. Bottom of the 5th from the Coliseum. 5-1. The Angels lead the Athletics. A's won last night by a score of 11-5. So a little work to do for the Athletics. Pridey takes the first pitch up and away. Pridey walked in the 2nd inning. Here's his career numbers: 5 career home runs, 127 big league games, and these are his 6th big league team. So he's been around quite a bit.
Trying to get another chance with a new organization, and he's been given that.
A little bit low, and it's 3-0. These need base runners. Simeon to follow, and then Sogard. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Angels with 4 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. A's with their run in the 1st on the home run by Lord. Hit hard, but right to Crone at first, who will take it himself. So 1 away. Long game last night. A's won it. That's the most important thing. But we had a, what did we call it? What was the official delay?
Broken fence delay.
Broken fence delay. The panel out there, that's the padding, fell down. David Renetti, the vice president of stadium operations, when he gives a thumbs up, that means it's all good. And he did.
You know, David said he got a lot of emails and people said, you know, why didn't you run? Why didn't you run out there? And David simply said, for what? If I ran out there, the crew wasn't there to repair the fence, so why should I run out there? Just take my time. And by the time I got there.
Yeah, he mentioned that to me, too.
Yeah, you know, there's no reason to run.
And quite frankly, if there's people that are bothered that that the vice president of stadium operations was not running to the fallen padding out there, then I think that whoever sent those emails, they need to worry about some other things.
I agree. So maybe we can ask David who sent them, and we could read them right here and get their names.
That's what's bothering you? That this guy who works
tirelessly
15, 16 hours every home game should run out to the State Farm padding?
Actually, State Farm
for you, David.
State Farm should give him a bonus.
All right, here's our Geico quote of the game. Comes from the manager. We know there's going to be some issues here. Actually, sometimes is a little bit of fun. We didn't want the game to get delayed. We got it done in time. Some double-sided tape or whatever they used to fix it up out there.
Double-sided tape.
It may be true, but it worked.
How about this? Clay Wood told me, I don't know if you talked to him. Clay Wood said.
I did not talk to Clay.
Clay Wood said of this whole outfield fence, there are 2 areas that are never moved during a football changeover. The left field out-of-town scoreboard, the right field out-of-town scoreboard, everything else changes. So where that panel went down, it doesn't move for football. It just happened to come down.
So the football stands they come right over top of it.
They cover it, yeah. So you don't see them.
So that's the panel that fell.
That's the one, and that's the one that is there permanently.
It's funny.
But yeah, everything else comes down for the football changeover.
Sogard's going to be aboard. We'll see what the ruling is. It was a hard hit ball. So it goes as a hit, as it should.
Absolutely. Sogard going down below and hammer the ball up the middle. And if he makes the play, after all, this is Eric Sogard running. It's not like he's going to be thrown out on a ball like that. Double-sided tape. That's a good one.
Oh, man.
I said to Clay, you know, you sent one of your grounds crew behind that panel, and he disappeared. What happened to it?
Did he come out? I never saw him come out.
He went to Clay's office and got a screwdriver, which is up in center field. So, yeah, I thought when he went behind the panel, he'd gone.
We never did see him again.
Yeah. I guess there's some animals out there that he thought maybe would be coming running out on the field with that panel falling down. It's kind of funny.
First pitch to Laurie. He is low. I also told David Renetti, I said, listen, we're about the same age, and when you get a shade over 50 and you're in front of thousands of people, running is not a great idea. because
he was cool.
You could fall,
right.
The hamstring could go, the knee could go, and then you're a YouTube sensation, right? You don't want to do that. And he agreed with me.
I think he handled it extremely well.
He always does.
I mean, just why run to something and wait? I mean, Shane Victorino walked into the dugout, as did all the Angels players, so no reason for David to run out, to be able to have to wait like everybody else.
1-1 to Laurie. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Shoemaker. Sharp downward bite to it.
It's a hard slider, and he does throw a split finger fastball, but not that hard.
So Laurie strikes out, and a couple of strikeouts for Shoemaker in this inning. He's got 4 in the game, so he's been good so far. 5-1 Angels after 5. Strongest fan photo to CSNCA Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, and tonight's fan photo is from Danny G hanging out with Jose Canseco. All right, Danny G, that a bit.
Now pitching for the Athletics, number 61, Dan Otero.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. So Otero back up the minor leagues, and he's going to get freeze on a ground ball to Canna, 1 away. So Arnold Leone goes 2 innings, gives up a couple of hits, no runs.
Number 58, Carlos Perez.
Carlos Perez will hit. Carlos Perez 2 for 2. And Ray, you mentioned the bottom of the order.
Yep.
Freeze, Perez, Featherston, 4 total hits and 3 runs scored. And when you have Trout and Pujols hitting second and third, the bottom of the order becomes really important. Perez 2 for 2, 2 singles and a run scored. Outside. Perez is the young man who, on the night he made his major league debut on May 5th, Against Seattle, he hit a walk-off home run. It was not his first hit. He got a hit earlier in the game. A pitch by Otero at the knees. Good sinking action. 2-2.
Mike Scioscia knows that catching is very important, but he also knows that now as a catcher you need to have a little offense. And you remember the name of Jeff Mathis, who was a very good catcher but not a very good hitter. As a result, he moved on. Also had Mike Napoli, who was a good hitter, but catching was not as good as Mathis.
Laurie ranges to his left and throws out Perez. Yeah, with Iannetta being a free agent, Perez could be the catcher of the future for Angels.
Now batting, number 8, Taylor Featherston.
So Taylor Featherston steps in, and he's the 9th place hitter. Featherston has singled and scored and has hit into a double play. He hit the ball that Semien made the terrific diving play on and started that double play. And that one ran inside, but I think he swung at it.
Yes, he did. I think Kervin Danley saw that as well, and I think this is going to hit him where it hit Pujols. That is a complete swing.
How did that not hit him?
I know, that's amazing.
He drives one toward Reddick, and Reddick reaches up, makes the catch. Good inning for Dan Otero. A couple of ground ball outs. So bottom of the 6th come up, still 5-1 Angels.
In the first inning, good start for the A's. Solo home run by Brett Laurie. But then it kind of fell apart as Albert Pujols was hit. This would bring home the go-ahead run. The Angels would add a couple more, but how about some defense by the Athletics? A flip with a glove after a dive by Semien to start a 6-4-3 double play. Semien to third base to get Murphy running in front of him, and then on the run and hit Ibar, a 4-6-3 double play. Smooth up the middle between Sogard and Semien. Doing a great job defensively up the middle, and Cowband continues to play as the A's trying to score some runs. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-AT&T. Mobilizing the world.
So they're having a good time tonight. Cal Knight. And it's the bottom of the 6th inning. Shoemaker still working. Facing Reddick, Canna, and Vogt. Reddick a single and a ground out to short. Slices that one right over top the bullpen. crowd tonight, a little over 14,000. Doolittle starting to get loose. Another one left side. This one near the tarp and into the first row. So 1-2. Four hits for the A's, 3 singles and a home run. That one inside corner, strike 3 called, and I think Reddick isn't sure that that's the 3rd strike. Nobody really is, but it is.
He said that was a ball.
So tailing action, and Kerwin Danley said it caught the inside corner.
Now batting first baseman.
But everybody stayed. Nobody wanted to leave the plate. There's the strike 3 call by Kerwin Danley. Josh Reddick thought it was inside. Looked like it might have been the corner, part of the corner. And so Reddick was getting ready for the next pitch, and Perez saying, wait a minute. I think it's strike 3. That's not good. You got to know the count. You got to know how many runners are on base. You got to know all those things. I can understand Reddick because he thought it was a ball, but if you're the catcher and the umpire calls it a strike.
Canna takes on the outside corner. So 0-2.
I have to wonder if Kerwin Danley is verbalizing a strike call. Reddick wouldn't have stood there if he had heard him. But like a pretty good pitch.
Canna, a couple of fly balls, one to left and one to center. The outfield shifted well into right center field for Canna, and we've seen his power that way. What did he tell us? He took batting practice at Bellarmine Prep, and there was, what was in right field?
Short right field porch.
Right field porch. So they used to try to hit the ball over the right field wall. Not a bad way to do it. 2-2 the count. Hit very hard, but right to Ibar. Canna's out, 2 away. First 4 starts against the A's this year. Shoemaker an ERA of 7.85, but tonight he's rolling along. He's retired 9 out of the last 10.
Doing what you're supposed to do when you get a 4-run 3rd inning. He's trading 1-0. All of a sudden up 4-1, then 5-1, and just realize if he's going to get the run support, doing what you're supposed to do, get outs and do it quickly.
Vogt. First pitch is high. That was pitch number 85. And now 2-0. He's had a couple of base runners in the 2nd inning. Second 2 outs, but not much since then. That one outside, 3-0 on a close pitch. Vogt with a fly ball to center and a strikeout. Shoemaker, as we told you earlier, coming off a start where he gave up no runs and 1 hit in 7 1/3 innings. Toward right center, but Trout's going to get back there, and Trout has it. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Shoemaker. So 7th inning coming up from the Coliseum. 5-1 Angels over the A's.
Seating, choose your exact seating location for next season. He's offered a variety of full and partial season plans that qualify for great benefits, including half-price parking, flexible ticket exchange program, and more. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's, or you can visit athletics.com/2016.
Still 5-1. It's been that way since the 4th inning. Angels come to bat here in the 7th inning. Dan Otero. There's Sal Bando. Not really, but just a good-looking jersey.
That was the color. And that fan that we saw in Phoenix on Sunday came out with the wedding gown white jersey that we pointed out. And after the game, he was proud of saying, I knew I was going to wear this today, because he knew that he always wore the wedding gown white on Sundays, and even though they're on the road, he still wore it.
So 0-1 to Calhoun. He was 2 for 3 with 2 singles, an RBI, and a run scored out of the leadoff spot. And again, foul left side. So 0-2 to Calhoun. Trout to follow, and then Pujols. Maybe an important month for Dan Otero. Try to reestablish himself after having such a good year last year. Frustrating year for him this year.
Well, there's one thing about pitchers or general, the consistency, and that's what you're looking for regardless of the position you're playing.
Belted to right. Reddick's going to turn around and watch it go, and Calhoun has homered for the 21st time this year. So it's 6-1.
Thinks he likes the low fastball, and he's able to get under it. They want to go inside, bring it back, and right in the wheelhouse, and that looks so much like the home run he hit against Jesse Chavez earlier in the season in Anaheim. Got the foot down and got the head through quickly on a fastball. I don't know why he's running so hard at first. I think that was gone in a flash, and no doubt.
So a 3-hit night for Calhoun, and here's Trout. Trout takes a slider low. Mariners beat the Astros tonight 7-5. Scott Feldman started that game for the Astros, but left in the 3rd inning with right shoulder discomfort. So that's not really what the Astros want to hear with a 4-game lead. Laurie has it. Fires across to get Trout. So that's out number 1.
Now batting.
That Rangers game is now 4-4 in the 6th inning. Rangers and the Padres. Angels keeping a close eye on that one. They would be cheering for the Padres. So the Astros, with their loss, now a 3.5 game lead in the West. Oh! 0-1 to Albert Pujols, 0 for 2 with an RBI.
Tonight being September the 1st, and you look back the last 5 months and how teams can know that it's a long schedule. Then you get down the last month, 30 games remaining, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about, wow, should have won a few games, a few more, and That's when they start to count a little bit more in September.
First run allowed versus the Angels in 22 career innings for Otero. Good pitch there, 1-2. High and foul. Rays beat the Orioles 11-2. And the Orioles are sliding fast. They have lost 12 out of their last 13, including 6 in a row. So Baltimore now 63-69. That's not the team we saw a couple of weeks ago. Nope.
You think back to last year, what the Orioles did and how successful they were winning the division and winning games, and they were swept by the Royals. Ron Washington, coaching third for the A's, manager of the Rangers, realizes how close the Rangers came to winning the World Series. And
getting back is Reddick, and he's got it.
You get that close and you don't win, sometimes it takes forever to get back. And same with the Orioles. After a lot of success, they're going to lose a lot of players too, probably because of free agency.
Number 19, David.
So 2 away for Murphy. First pitch to Murphy at the knees for a strike. Blue Jays beat the Indians 5-3, trying to cool off the Indians. Ryan Goings with a walk-off home run in the 10th inning. Yankees beat the Red Sox 3-1. So Toronto and the Yankees both win, and the Blue Jays continue to have a game-and-a-half lead over Toronto. So those two teams battling in the East. Now to Murphy, who doubled in the 5th. Also had an RBI ground out in the 3rd. Right over the mound and right to Simeon. Throws to first, side retired. Calhoun with a home run, his 21st of the year. 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum. It's 6-1 Angels. Series day game tomorrow, and we'll have it for you right here in CSN California. Colin Cowgill is now in left field for the Angels. Murphy is out.
Did Paul Goldschmidt's wife not have her baby yet?
I don't know.
Gee, this is Tuesday. It was due yesterday, so is he still playing in Colorado?
Waiting it out. Butler's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to second, once to short. Fastball outside. Shoemaker, 91 pitches, 5 strikeouts. He's walked 1. And he has pitched extremely well. He had a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 3rd. In the 4th, gave up a 2-out single in the 5th, nothing else, and then had a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 6th. So he's rolling along. Right up the middle, and that's a base hit for Butler.
Catch that one. Yes.
Playing way in the hole.
It's good for Butler, but the breaking ball away from it, didn't try to pull it, and huge hole up the middle with Ibar playing way over towards third base, and definitely was not going to get that.
So here's Smolinski for his 3rd at bat. He's popped out and grounded out. Well, that is hit number 5 for the A's. Good pitch there. Took a little off. Ryan Dole. Our first look at him. Looks like a youngster. Featherston goes back, waits. He's got it 1 away. So Smolinski's 0 for 3. And that'll bring up Pridey, his 3rd at bat. Pridey has a walk and a ground out.
Jason Pridey.
Pridey getting the start tonight in center field.
Well, he just comes up, and they are putting the shift on 3 of the right side, only 1 on the left side. And pitch him away.
We still haven't quite figured that one out, have we?
I guess they wanted to have him hit it to Calgo in left field. Shoemaker throws a very good fastball running away from the left-handers, and how they expect him to pull it, a little surprising.
In for strike, and it's 0-2 to Pridey. Got the Ike Davis beard working.
I was thinking about that. Exact same
Looks
thing.
a little bit like Ike Davis.
Yeah.
Setting up inside. Pitch number 98 coming up. And it's called the ball. That's a pretty good pitch by Shoemaker.
Yeah, down in the lower part of the strike zone, and really it's the same pitch that Reddick was called out on. It's just a question of maybe a little bit lower, but looked like it had the corner.
It may have been a better pitch than the one Reddick was called out on. 1-2. Featherston has it, and they get the out at second. Juggled it just a little bit, but they get Butler. So fielder's choice for Priddy.
And he did pull the pitch, and exactly the way the defense had set him up. The pitch was running away from him and off speed, and I guess that's the one that you figure he's going to pull.
Now batting,
that's the reason for the shift.
Number 10, Marcus Semien.
So here's Semien. 2 outs now with a runner aboard. So lefty and a righty warming up for the Angels. Sinker's low. As every manager always wishes, the starting pitcher get through the 7th inning. That's what Shoemaker's trying to do. Outside.
And our apologies to those great ones of the past who decided they want to pitch 9 innings.
Well, yeah, that's true. Don't get mad at me for saying that.
A complete game, 9 innings or 12 or 14 or whatever it takes, but different times and different conditioned pitchers. But Shoemaker getting ready for pitch number 102. So he has been able to pitch into the 7th and perhaps finish the 7th with just a little bit more than that.
2-1 the count. .95 pitches in his last start, 97 in the start before that. So now 3-1. They're ready in the bullpen.
It's a good take by Semien, and more seeing him take those pitches that are running away and off the plate.
Ready to go on the crack of the bat. And it's a walk. So Shoemaker loses Semien. Sosha thinking about it. Second walk issued by Shoemaker. Still thinking about it.
Second baseman.
Now he's heading back behind the railing.
Eric Sogard.
It was close, Ray. I think it was close.
Well, he had a couple of guys to confer with. He had Shane Victorino and Raymond.
And I thought I saw Raymond say, yeah, I'd leave him in.
Good old Raymond. There he is. See, he's talking to Victorino right now.
Yeah.
Saying, what were you saying, Vic?
I told him to leave him in there, Shane. And 2 on, 2 out. Top of the order, Sogard. Sogard shows bunt, and it's a strike. Sogard, a couple of ground outs tonight and a single. Pitch is golfed foul way out in front of it. Into the second level and then bounces down to the first level. Be careful down there.
A lot of liquid flying around.
There's a lot flying around.
In addition to
there.
busted kneecaps, man, that's those seats are hard.
Hope everybody's okay.
What a time for Eric Sogard. Hit his first home run of the season, huh? Just hook one down the 330 line. DA's back in this game.
0-2. Here's the pitch. High fastball. Sogard lays off. Setting up inside. And it's toward Trout. And Trout squeezes it. And the A's strand a pair. So we're through 7. 6-1 Angels lead. In town, get a ticket and a value deck behind home plate, an authentic A's beach towel, a cheer card, and a $6 food and drink voucher. It's all for one great price. The best deal in Bay Area baseball is CSN's Authentic Fan Friday coming up. So join us for that. And you're joining us for a major league debut here. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's Ryan Dull. Those are the numbers from AA and AAA, and they are terrific numbers. 0.74. So good numbers, and we're seeing him for the first time. He's not a big guy. 5'10", 175 pounds, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He was the A's 32nd round pick in 2012, so 4 years in the minor leagues and a September call up here in 2015 for Ryan Dull. He's always been a reliever. North Carolina at Asheville is where he attended school. Prone, big swing, and it's 1-2.
Pretty good motion for number 66 with the name Dull on the back. He's got to be proud of that. And good delivery, good fastball. A couple of sliders to start the at bat to Prone.
Slider up a little bit. Canna coming over. Could have a play, and not quite. Maybe he had a little bit more room than he thought. Reached for it right at the last minute.
Oh, somebody help him. Say you got a little bit more room. Maybe the red cap distracted him.
Slider and a good one. Prone swings and misses. So the first batter Ryan Dull faces in his big league career is a strikeout.
Hey, Dominic just got that baseball. He is authenticating it right now to give to Mr. Dull. He is down there. Big Dominic is. Look at that. Stephen Vosa, give me another ball there, Mr. Danley, and decided to throw it around. Instead, he flipped it over. Either Austin or there it is, Dominic. There it is. Authenticated. Enter it. computer. First major league strikeout.
Also the first strikeout of the night by any A's pitcher.
That's right.
So one away. Ibar the hitter. And it's 0-2.
Well, they say don't think about March and September. For these young pitchers coming up and throwing, as Stoll is right now, he's thinking about September. Getting a chance to show what he can do against a pretty good hitting ball club, the Angels.
27th different pitcher used this year. That's a new Oakland record. 21st reliever.
Did I see
2-2 the count.
I see 1915, 1955.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Look at Kansas, Philadelphia and Kansas City. You're talking those years.
Base hit right field. Ibar went down to get that one, and he has his first hit after a 3-hit night last night. So Ryan Dull has given up his first hit.
Realize that at this level, you throw a fastball and they're looking for it, even with 2 strikes down. Pretty good pitch. This time it's a base hit.
So David Freese hits for the 4th time. And the runner's going to try for second, and he's going to make it as Vogt had a scramble after it. So heads up base running by Ibar, kind of where that secondary lead comes into play.
Yeah, it doesn't take much for Ibar to take off. Ibar not that far, but if he doesn't go immediately, he's not going to make it. And Steven had no chance to set himself and throw. Just thinking as Stephen Vogt now telling all the runner at second on the signs, but one of the difficult things is that in the case of Stephen Vogt catching Dole, he just probably introduced himself to him tonight, and Stephen warmed up Cody Martin, at least as a catcher warming up the starting pitcher, but guys coming out of the bullpen, unless they were in spring training, unless you caught him on the side, really Casey Chavez knows better than Stephen Vogt how Dole is throwing.
That was a pass ball on Vogt. Slider and a good one. 1-2 now to Freese. Freese singled and scored in the 4th inning. Reaches for this one and pops it up. Should be the second out. And it is. And now Carlos Perez will hit. Perez is 2 for 3.
Now batting, number 58, Carlos Perez.
Rangers Padres still tied 4-4 in the 7th. If the Rangers were to lose that game, the Twins would move into a tie with the Rangers for that second wild card spot. The Twins won't go away.
I don't think Paul Molitor will let them. First-year manager for the Twins.
1-1 the count. Rays are watching that game as well, and so are these Angels. Good pitch, call the ball.
Teams in the hunt will say you play well yourself, you win, and you don't worry so much about the other teams, but just human nature. You're going to watch those teams, just see how they're doing. Watch the scoreboard.
2-2 now.
A's controlled their own destiny last year. Took them down to game 162 before they finally won it, assuring them of at least the one game against the Royals.
Outside, and now it's 3-2. So Dole trying to tease him with that slider.
If he can start a little bit closer towards the middle of the plate and have it break sharply towards the outside or maybe off the plate, might get another swing and miss if he stays with the slider. Really, why not?
Off the end of the bat, a one-hopper to Sogard. Side retired. So hitting a runner left. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Work to do for the A's. They trail 6-1.
The full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, home of the most to live sports. And by Black Bear Diner, feed your inner bear.
Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It's 6-1. 6-10-0 for the Angels, 1-5-0 for the Athletics. Matt Shoemaker, 108 pitches in 7 innings. He's done for the night. 3 hits and a home run for Cole Calhoun. Cody Martin making his first major league start. Went 3+ innings. And the only run for the A's was a home run by Laurie in the very first inning. And here is Laurie. And he's facing a new pitcher, Mike Morin. And Laurie drives it to right. But Calhoun gets back and he makes the catch. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's the young right-hander Mike Morin. Morin, 1-1, very high ERA, and Mike Scioscia's seen enough. Something like that. So Wesley Wright coming in. We'll be back. Breast Cancer Awareness Day, presented by Zevia, the zero-calorie soda, and supported in part by Athena Bottled Water, Nelson Staffing, Comerica Bank, and State Roofing Systems of San Leandro. Prior to the game, 10,000 fans will receive a breast cancer awareness scarf courtesy of Zevia. To join the fight, purchase your special tickets now at athletics.com/survivor. So always a special day here at the ballpark, Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and it's coming up on Sunday, September 6th. So we will be here for that. It's coming up this Sunday. So Wesley Wright comes in, the left-hander to face Reddick. Reddick 1 for 3, single, ground out, strikeout so far. So Mike Warren throws one pitch.
You got all these September call-ups, might as well use them.
I guess. Reddick pops it up, right side of the diamond. Featherston grabs it 2 away. That's the new third baseman, Caleb Cowart. So he's in, Freeze is out.
Number 20.
The Rangers have taken a 7-4 lead over the Padres in the 7th inning. The Rangers trying to even up that series at a game apiece. If the Rangers were to win that, they would be 3 back of the Astros in the division. R.J. Alvarez loosening up. Canna hitless. Couple of fly balls and a ground out tonight. And now 0-2. Setting up inside. And it's hit to left. Shallow. Actually, it's Cowgill who grabs it. Side retired. So the A's go quietly in the 8th. And we're going to the 9th. 6-1. The Angels lead the Athletics. Sportsnet Bay Area. Highlights from our game here at the Coliseum. Get a full Raiders report, get a full Niners report. And it'll be Ahmed Freed and Dave Feldman who will host. So ninth inning, and the A's are trailing 6-1. 6-10-0 for the Angels, 1-5-0 for the A's. New pitcher for the Athletics. It's R.J. Alvarez. So Alvarez just called up.
And we have seen him, and he's got a very good arm. He's been on the roller coaster too, back and forth to Nashville.
Eleven games so far. This is number 12 for Alvarez.
Originally an Angel.
That's right.
The organization.
He made the A's opening day roster. Was optioned back to AAA on April 22nd. Oh, 0-2 to Featherston. And it stays 0-2. Single, double play, and a line out for the second baseman, Taylor Featherston. Giovatella's on the disabled list.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Everyday second baseman who had some big hits against the A's this year. There was a lot of talk about the Angels maybe getting Chase Utley, and he ended up going to the Dodgers. So 1-2 the count. Slider, and it's on the inside corner. Strike 3 call. So 1 out here in the top of the ninth.
Well, a backup slider outside target and kind of steady towards the middle and a little bit inside. And
Cole Calhoun.
sometimes the idea of what a pitch is supposed to do doesn't act that way, but did the job anyway. Joe Smith was up. Now it's Houston Street. Non-safe situation, but the veteran closer is throwing.
Down and away to Calhoun.
Of course, when you're swept in Cleveland and lost last night,
Gonna win.
you're maybe not getting as much work.
Calhoun has had a big night. He flew out in the first, then had an RBI single in the third, another single in the fourth, and a home run in the seventh. So he's 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Another good year for Calhoun. Last year, his first opportunity to play every day, kind of won the job as the right fielder, and has carried that into this year. This was the home run in the 7th inning.
Did not take long for this to leave the yard. Left-handers like those low fastballs, and he got one.
Pops this one up. Simeon behind second base. 2 away. These will have Vogt, Butler, Smolinski, and hopefully a bunch more in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now batting, number 27, Mike Trout.
Street throwing like he's going in.
I need some work.
Yep. Couple of walks tonight and a single. Checks his swing, and he did not go.
Trout asked himself, Now the old Adrian Beltre play here. Check swing. Left hand. Let's check first base. Yep. What do you think? It's all about not having the umpire. This crew really, Jim Joyce, they don't call a lot themselves as far as the pitches. They'll defer to the corner umpires, which they should.
So 2-1. Right there outside corner to even the count at 2-2. Set up outside and the pitch misses outside. Alvarez looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning. Trout fouls back the fastball.
Well, he can go down and get a fastball. Yeah. He is such a good hitter with the pitch down in the zone, especially good fastball.
Another 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. Slider and a good one. Strike 3 call. So good inning for R.J. Alvarez. And we're going to the bottom of the ninth. Vogt to lead it off. Work to do, and a lot of it for the A's. They trail 6-1.
More in the first inning, but after that, especially after his club scored 4 runs in the third, settled down, and that's it. As a matter of fact, that's a great job of Matt Shoemaker tonight, changing speeds, mixing his pitches, and a good job for the Angels in a game that they probably need as badly as anybody. So he did his part, 7 innings for the A's Honda player of the game tonight, Matt Shoemaker.
So here is the veteran closer, Houston Street. Another good season, 31 saves and 35 opportunities. This is not a save situation. So he'll face Stephen Vogt to lead things off. Butler in the on-deck circle. Just pitch in for a strike. Vogt is hitless tonight. 10 hits for the Angels, 5 for the A's. And that that's going to fall in front of Cowgill for it. So Vogt is aboard a leadoff single here in the 9th inning.
High fastball outside. Stephen Vogt, exactly what you should. Just take it to the opposite field. Does it perfectly, and don't ever want to try to pull that pitch. And Stephen does not. More and more going to the opposite field with pitches away from it.
So that'll bring up Butler, who's got a single tonight, 1 for 3. First pitch inside with a fastball. Houston Street. But he's never been a real hard thrower. It's always been more of a slider is his best pitch. See, with that 3/4 delivery.
It's a matter of deception for him. Yeah. It's been good for him, very good.
But it's, guys always lose velocity as they get older. Street's no different.
But there's a thing called experience, and he has had a ton of it. Over 300 saves now. That is 300th this season.
A's, Rockies, Padres, and now Angels.
Zach Davis, isn't it?
Tell it. One pitch there is that slider.
Yeah.
He can still get swings and misses on it. Active save leaders: Houston Street 306. And he's 4th on the list. Fernando Rodney signed with the Cubs, or I guess was traded to the Cubs after he was designated for assignment by Seattle.
Yeah, Joe Madden had him down with the Rays. Chase slider there, trying to get him to go for it. He could throw it another one right towards the middle of the plate.
Here it is, and it's a little flare over first, drops fair. Vogt will hustle around to third. Butler will take it, and it's 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
That's a flare.
That is a. If you look up flare in the dictionary in the baseball term, you'll see this video right here.
And if Cron's not holding Stephen Vogt, if he's playing back in a normal position with nobody on base, he catches it easily, and he's helpless there as he starts to jump and say, why? Had no chance. That ball didn't even hit the outfield grass.
Number 5.
And getting to it quickly was Feathers. Boy, he got Butler. Just the thought of him going to second shook him up.
So Smolinski hits. Your goal at the moment anyways for the A's is to get the tying run to the plate and then go from there. A couple more hits for that to happen. Slider inside corner for a strike. Maybe not where Houston Street wanted it. Gets the call anyways. Slider this time, probably more where Street wanted it.
Houston Street has the ability and the experience to close, and you know, as a hitter, you know the velocity. Darren Bush has all the velocities of his fastball slider, and the worst thing you can do is try to pull it. Stephen Vogt went to opposite field, left side. Billy Butler to the right side.
And that one to the backstop, and Vogt comes in to score 6-2. Still nobody out. So it's a wild pitch that allows the run to score, and obviously it allows Butler to move up to second.
Not much Perez could do. Tried, and he didn't know where the ball was. It hit him hard, straight up into the backstop, and Smolinski taking that one. And both able to score easily. Perez still not able to find it.
2-2 pitch. Shallow. Center. And it is caught. Nice play by Featherston. Got to run a long ways.
Trout was not going to get it. Trout was deep and maybe the swing and long run. And as he came charging in, Featherston able to go out and catch it over the shoulder.
Now batting center fielder.
Nice play. He was the only one going to get it.
So that's the first out here in the 9th inning. As Pridey steps up, shift is on. Butler the runner at second. Colin Cowgill, the left fielder, playing extremely shallow. Other outfielders playing pretty normal distance, but Cowgill in. Trout really deep, slightly shifted toward right center. And now 0-2 to Jason Pridey. Simeon is the next scheduled hitter. And the 0-2 pitch is a foul tip, swing and a miss, and that's the second out. So Pridey 0 for 3 with a walk tonight.
Floats away. You know, Cap, one of the things that's thinking of Marcus Semien facing a couple of pitchers and Pridey facing Houston Street. You know, these guys 306 saves. And so for September call-ups, great experience for them, but they may be facing some pretty good pitchers. Yep. You know, and in the case of some hitters facing pitchers they've never seen, you can only read about, maybe follow them and think about how great they are, and then all of a sudden you've got a bat in your hand facing them.
So a quick 0-1 to Marcus Semien, a single, a strikeout, and a walk for the A's shortstop. Foul back, and now he's behind in the count 0-2. Probably start to see a few sliders now. Angels trying to even up the series at a game apiece. Again, a day game tomorrow. Our coverage starts at 12 o'clock with A's pregame live. First pitch scheduled for 12:35. 0-2 pitch. Semien does not go.
Chad Fairchild paying attention, because every time you see this, Marcus Semien kind of brings the hands through, stays inside, and tries with the top hand and the right forearm to keep the bat from going through the hitting zone.
One-two pitch. 2-2.
I think he wanted it. I think he wanted to walk right in and catch, shake Perez's hand and say nice job, and okay, no, okay.
That's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah.
Semien choking up slightly. 2-2. And that time he went around, and Kerwin Daly says strike 3, and that's the ball game. So the A's get a run in the 9th, but come up well short. So it is a series that's now tied at a game apiece, and rubber game tomorrow right here at the Coliseum, and you'll see it on CSN California. It took 3 hours and 4 minutes, 14,178 was your attendance. 6-2 Angels over the A's. You've been watching Oakland A's baseball on CSN California. It's all part of the NBC Sports Group. Don't go away. A's postgame live with Brody Brazil and Shooty Babbitt starts right now.